They say the mind is a vault, secure, private, unbreachable. But what if that vault could be opened? What if the memories you hold most dear could be taken from you, not by time or disease, but by force? This is the story of a place where memories were stolen, not erased, but taken. A secret prison, hidden in plain sight, where the past was not just forgotten, but deliberately unmade. It began in the 1970s, in a country torn apart by war and revolution. The Khmer Rouge, led by Pol Pot, seized control of Cambodia. Their vision was radical, to create a classless agrarian society. But to do so, they needed to eliminate the past, history, culture, identity. And so, they built Tuol Sleng. Tuol Sleng was once a high school. Now it was a prison, a place where thousands were brought, interrogated, tortured, and executed. But it wasn't just their bodies that were broken, it was their minds. Prisoners were subjected to brutal methods, designed not just to extract information, but to destroy their sense of self. They were forced to confess to crimes they didn't commit, to betray their loved ones, to deny their own memories. Each confession was a piece of their identity, stripped away. And then there were the photographs, thousands of them. Each prisoner was photographed upon arrival. Their faces, expressions of fear, confusion, and despair captured for posterity. These photographs were not just records, they were tools. Tools to reinforce the idea that these people were enemies of the state, that their memories were lies, that their pasts were nothing but fabrications. But even in the face of such systematic erasure, some memories survived. Some prisoners held on to fragments of their pasts, snippets of songs, tastes of food, the feel of a loved one's touch. These fragments were their resistance, their proof that they had once been whole. One such survivor, Van Nath, was an artist. He was spared from execution and forced to paint portraits of the Khmer Rouge leaders. But in the hidden corners of his paintings, he included symbols of his own memories, tiny details that spoke of his life before Tuol Sleng. These symbols were his rebellion, his way of preserving his identity. But not everyone was so fortunate. Many prisoners were not just forgotten, they were erased. Their names, their faces, their stories, lost to history. The Khmer Rouge sought to create a blank slate, a society without pasts, without memories. And yet, even in the darkest corners of Tuol Sleng, light found a way through. The photographs, once tools of oppression, became evidence. Evidence that these people had existed, had lived, had loved. They became symbols of resilience, of the human spirit's refusal to be erased. Today, Tuol Sleng stands as the Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum. The photographs line the walls, silent witnesses to the atrocities committed within. They are not just reminders of the past, they are calls to remember, to bear witness, to ensure that such erasure never happens again. But the story doesn't end there. The methods used at Tuol Sleng were not unique. Around the world, in places like Syria's Sednaya prison and Morocco's Tasmamart, similar tactics were employed. In these prisons, memories were not just stolen, they were obliterated. Prisoners were subjected to isolation, torture, and forced confessions, all designed to erase their identities and their pasts. And in our own time, the concept of memory manipulation has taken on new forms. Technologies like Cognify propose altering criminal behavior by implanting artificial memories. While these methods are still theoretical, they raise profound ethical questions about the nature of memory and identity. As we look back on the stories of those who survived Tuol Sleng and other secret prisons, we are reminded of the fragility of memory, how easily it can be manipulated, erased, or destroyed. But we are also reminded of its resilience, how, even in the face of such efforts, memory can survive, adapt, and endure. In the end, the question remains, what makes us who we are? Is it our memories, our experiences, our identities? Or is it our ability to remember, to hold on to the fragments of our past that truly defines us? As we move forward, let us not forget the lessons of the past. Let us honor the memories of those who were stolen from and ensure that their stories are never erased. The screen fades to black. The words appear, remember, resist, reclaim.